Big Tish is in big trouble. New York Attorney General Letitia James, the queen of dishing it out but can't take it, indicted on charges of mortgage fraud.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General.
You know, I guess she did do her job because she did fulfill her promise of going after Trump. If you remember, she even made it her campaign platform.
America is an uncharted territory. We are angrier and more deeply divided than we've ever been at any point in our history since the Civil War. And at the eye of the storm is Donald Trump, ripping families apart, threatening women's most basic rights. I'm running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake.
And despite securing a verdict against Trump, the over $500 million fine was then thrown out on appeal. And now that James finds herself in the same hot seat she put Trump in, well, of course, this is how the fake news mainstream media defends her.
What Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this.
No, I've bought 2 homes and I did not commit mortgage fraud, CNN. Not everyone falsifies records, inflates their wealth, or pretends to live in a home they don't to get a more favorable interest rate because it's illegal. But of course, as the top attorney of New York, Letitia James, she knew that, but she thought she wouldn't get caught. No worries, Tish. Your cronies they'll always back you.
This is not simply an attack on Attorney General Tish James. This is an attack on our city. And each one of us represents different parts of that same city, and we speak with one voice today.
This is what tyranny looks like. Donald Trump has turned the Justice Department into his personal attack dog to go after his political enemies. This is tyranny. This is outrageous. Every American should be horrified, absolutely horrified about what has happened.
Okay. I don't know what's more horrifying, Chuck, that you don't realize that no matter what you do, AOC is still going to go after your job and take your job, or that you might actually believe the lies coming out of your mouth. Because why would anyone defend this female version of Al Sharpton? It is beyond me.
Stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale.
Too male, too pale. She chants it. And then the white guys behind her actually say the same thing. Can you imagine being a white guy cheering too male, too pale? But when you look at this case of Big Tish, the hypocrisy of it, it is truly profound. James posting this just last year on X. When powerful people cheat to get better loans, it comes at the expense of hardworking people. And when she's not smirking for the cameras like she loved to do, especially when she was sitting behind Trump in court, Tish James said this over and over again.
My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
Yeah, finally something I can agree with you on, Tish. No one is above the law. Not an attorney general or a president of the United States that you will weaponize the justice system to go after, right? Trump was hit with 91 charges. Where were the calls of tyranny then? Where were they? Oh, everybody does this then. But you know what? They all failed because they were all bogus. Many in the Democrat Party did everything they could to destroy Donald Trump. They tried to destroy his marriage. They tried to destroy his family and, of course, his legacy and his path to the White House. And I truly believe, had he not become the president of the United States, that was his mugshot. Where's Tish's mugshot? He would likely be behind bars as we speak, for the simple fact that he wouldn't play ball with them. He's too honest, if you think about it, for his own good. He became too great of a threat to the Democrat grift, to the very deep state they'll tell you doesn't even exist. But Big Tish is learning along with several others like Jack Smith and James Comey, Adam Schiff, a few others, that karma is a dish best served cold. Let's go deeper into that forensic accountant who first exposed Big Tish, the one, the only. Forensic accountant Sam Antar. Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
So, is this political? Because you just heard Chuck Schumer talk. This is all political witch hunt. This is a weaponization of the Justice Department. Are you part of the Trump administration? Because you're the first one who actually put this all together.
First of all, I don't give a damn about Trump. I couldn't care less if it's political or not political. That's not my game. My game is forensic accounting. My game is showing proof, and that's what I've done. Every single allegation that I've made regarding her is backed up by documents, and that's why they indicted her. Now, they indicted her on only one property so far, which is her Peroni Avenue property in Norfolk, Virginia. She has two other properties where she's committed serial mortgage fraud, a pattern of mortgage fraud. The other one is also in Norfolk, Virginia. It's on Sterling Street. And the third property is in Brooklyn. She's committed mortgage fraud over a period of 43 years. 13 mortgages containing false information. She put her signatures on the documents, and those documents are easily publicly sourced, which I did.
Was this a simple mistake? I mean, it's one thing if somebody like I'm not an attorney. Is this a simple mistake that she could have made? Which I find hard to believe, considering she is the top attorney of New York State.
Well, the media would have you believe that this is an isolated incident because they don't want to talk about the other properties that she's going to be indicted for, which I believe she's going to be indicted for.
This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, okay? There's something, they put their foot in the door on this property. There's going to be superseding indictments. But when you look at one property by itself, it makes it easier for them to say it's a one-off, it's a mistake, okay? But when you look at the pattern of behavior spanning to 1983, you say every single mortgage that she signed contained false information.
Could she be guilty of mail fraud too?
Yeah, mail fraud, mail and wire fraud, that's an easy one. The feds, they did that to me. She's maybe even income tax evasion too.
Right, because she didn't put that income on her taxes.
No. Well, that's okay. Let me explain. She has what's known as a Schedule E. You file when you have rental property. On the Schedule E, it says that she had 0 personal days in the property, and she gave it a fair market rental. That was the evidence that implicated her, because a Schedule E basically says that I violated the mortgage terms. I misrepresented the mortgage because I was supposed to use it as a secondary home, not a rental.
So is Big Tish in big trouble?
She's in big trouble. You know, listen, I wouldn't want the federal government up my rear end. I had them up my rear end for 10 years. So, you know, I wouldn't want, she should stay hydrated. That's my advice to Tish James.
Why is that?
Because this is only the beginning.
This is only the beginning. All right, thank you so much, Sam Antar. As always, I look forward to having you back again if your prediction comes true, if she's indicted further.
It's not a prediction, it's a fact.
I'll take that to the bank. All right, thank you, Sam.